Hello, everyone. Long time no see. It has been, I think, 2 months or something around there since I've last posted a video and since I've last filmed a video, actually. The break was unintentional, but I'm not shocked by it just because, work started back up after my nice break and it just becomes really hard to take time out of my day to come up with ideas and film things and edit them every week when really the only time I have is on the weekend, and that's kind of when I'm resting and rejuvenating and doing all my chores and things that I need to do that I can't do during the week. Anyway, I wanted to come back and give a little life update on kind of what's been going on. Obviously, the biggest thing, which is very obvious, is that I moved. I actually wanted to move last year because where I was living, as nice as it just was very expensive, and it was in one of those apartment complexes where they just up the rent for no reason every single year. And the raise that I get at work just isn't enough to make that worth it to stay. But moving is a lot of work, trying to find a place and getting it all together. And as I've talked about on my YouTube channel, 2023 was a very difficult year for my mental health. And so I just was not able to do the things that I needed to do to be able to move. So 2024 was the year. Honestly, I didn't even start doing stuff until probably September. And even then, I thought maybe it's too late because I have to give, I think it was 60 days notice or 2 months notice or something like that, before my lease would end. And I just didn't know if I really had enough time to find a new place and confirm that and then, give the notice early enough. But luckily, it did work out. And so where I am now is much cheaper and it's also much closer to work. So I'm really excited about that, especially because now I can save money. I really wasn't in a place where I could save. Like I could live just fine and pay for my necessities, but I really couldn't save on top of that. And I do want to be able to do that, obviously just to plan for the future, but also because if you've been following my journey, I am doing immunotherapy for my dog and cat allergies because I do want to adopt a cat really as soon as I possibly can. And so I do need to save to be able to pay for those, one-time expenses to kind of set up the place and get everything that the cat will need. So I'm just in a much better place now, literally. It is smaller than my other place, but I didn't even need all the space that I had, so it's totally fine. Everything fits in here just fine. I actually have 2 bedrooms here, a nice kitchen, a living room, a place to park my car. So it really worked out. I did want to film moving, but just because I'm by myself and I had to do everything by myself, and I was trying to do a lot in a short period of time, not just with like packing and arranging everything, but even like the day of move-in day, I was trying to move in a very short period of time. It just really wasn't something that I was able to do. So unfortunately, that is not filmed, but you can see the aftermath here. My mental health has been pretty good, actually. I've been pretty stable. I haven't felt like, my symptoms for depression were coming back, raging, flaring up, anything like that. So, me and my psychiatrist, we actually haven't been meeting as often. Last time I met with her, I was like, yeah, I feel like I'm stable, you know, nothing really to report. And so we just, kept my medication prescription the same. So that's always good news. Physical health wise is about the same. I haven't worked out in probably 2 or 3 months, so that's not good. Um, but besides that, I have been able to do the things that I need to do. I have been showering less, which I think just kind of comes or goes along with not working out as much because that's really when I would shower. Like I would work out and then I would shower and I'd work out 4 days a week. So, I feel like showering 4 days a week is fine for me. But when I don't work out, then it's hard to actually get myself into the shower because it's a whole process, especially with my hair, because ever since probably 4 years ago, I started getting really greasy hair. And it took a while to figure out how to properly manage that. But I did figure it out. And basically, it's like the products that I use in my hair to wash it specifically, and then also the technique that I use. And so what I do now, it works, but it does take a lot longer in the shower. So it's just like a much longer process. And so I think that just makes, the resistance, the mental resistance of, you know, actually preparing for the shower and going and taking the shower much larger. So I still have symptoms like that, but yeah, I mean, it's stable in that way. Obviously, I'm hoping that I can find ways to get more energy. I surprisingly did have a good amount of energy when it came to moving. I was really worried about that. I mean, like the week leading up to it, my energy wasn't bad, but it wasn't as high as I would have liked it to be. The day before moving, the day of, and the day after were actually really good. I was like very high energy. I mean, I wouldn't say that like I wasn't fatigued, but like for me, it was really good. And I was able to go pretty much the whole day and just kind of go, go, go and not have to nap or anything. And that I was super grateful for. But ever since then, I have been very fatigued. It's been hard to continue to unpack. And pretty much I just come home from work and I go to bed like pretty much right away. Like I eat dinner and I pretty much go to sleep. I've been sleeping a lot, which isn't super abnormal for me, but I mean, and it makes sense, right? Like my body, I guess, is kind of compensating now for the little bit of high energy that I had. And, it works because I'm able to do that, even though obviously I'd like to have the energy to finish unpacking and, set everything up that I need to set up. Um, it can wait a little bit longer. It's all right if it takes a little bit longer. The holistic health company that I've been working with just recently announced that it is closing in December. So, it's just been this really great resource that I've had these various professionals all working with me, all looking at the same notes, just working together to help me with my chronic fatigue syndrome. And it's something you really don't get in the medical field today. So it's just been a really unique and positive experience, even though I haven't really had my fatigue improve all that much, if at all. And even if it has improved in certain periods of time, I don't necessarily attribute that to anything that I've tried, that these medical professionals have, recommended. It's still a positive part of the experience. It's still me moving forward and learning more about myself and my body. Like if I try a new treatment, a new supplement, and it doesn't end up having any effect, then at least I've learned that that doesn't work for me. So receiving this news was disappointing and shocking to say the least. What made me feel a little better about it was I went on and had another doctor's appointment. I say went on because they're all virtual. So I had to switch doctors because actually my doctor left, and she said literally everybody that works there was notified 2 days before they announced it to, their customers. So they were really taken off guard as well because I was a little annoyed too. I'm like, why did nobody say anything? But I guess, none of the professionals, medical professionals working for this company knew that it was going to happen either. So I do feel a little better knowing that. Sometimes that's just how it has to be. So I know that that's just sometimes a part of life. But that is obviously disappointing. And, now I'm not totally sure what I want to do to move forward. I just haven't had the energy to like get the labs done that the doctor ordered. And it might even be too late at this point. Like there's like a deadline and then you can't get any more labs ordered. You can't get them done. You can't, have the professionals like prescribing things for you anymore or even meeting with you anymore. So that's just kind of where I'm at, where it's at. In happier news, I have completed, I want to say 3 months of immunotherapy. And I actually just finished my second vial of allergy serum. There's 5 vials, I believe, that I have total. And I will be starting my 3rd vial in 2 days, which is a Monday. You actually might be able to see I have bruises. This is from, I want to say 3 weeks ago, and then this is from last week. It's almost healed, actually. But I have been getting some bruises. For some reason, it's always on my left arm, and then my right arm is just totally fine. So I don't know if that's just going to continue, if it's only at certain dosages that it does that. I've taken like a picture and a short video clip at every appointment, and I'd like to make a compilation. And I don't know, I might post a compilation soon and then do it again when a year has gone by and I've done the build up phase. It's all done. Now that I've moved, the location of the appointment is much further away, because before it was like 5 minutes away from my apartment. Now it's like 30 minutes away. The specific doctor has 4 locations, so I did call to see if there was another one that was closer to where I moved to, but unfortunately, the one that I was going to is the one that's the closest. And I could switch, and I might look into switching to another doctor so that I don't have to drive as far. But as for right now, I'm just gonna continue because there's too many other things that are like higher priority. I am just grateful to be getting the immunotherapy. I will say though, I was not expecting it to be so expensive. Like, I have insurance, but they're not really going to cover the allergy serum until I've hit my deductible, which I haven't yet, even with all of my health appointments and lab tests and everything that have been done this year. So that's kind of surprising, but that's just how it is, unfortunately. I did look into switching health insurances, but pretty much every other option does the same thing with allergy related charges. So, I think I really have the best option that I can get right now, as far as I'm aware. I have to accept, and I mean, I do, but when I get the bills, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of money. It'll be totally worth it though. I more and more every day, and I keep watching cat videos. Recently, I looked at like a cat adoption site, and I was looking at all the cats, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just more and more every day. My want for a cat grows. My impatience also grows. So I just can't wait for a little less than a year from now when hopefully I can adopt a cat, because hopefully my allergies, or I should say, my allergic reaction will be minor, if present at all. You never know with allergies, right? Like, everybody's different, but I'm really hoping that it's going to be minor or not there at all. I did a lot of work making friends this past year, and I am really proud of the work that I did. And I really did see results, but I did unfortunately have like what I guess I would consider two big blows recently, like within the past couple of months. There was this group that I went to 2 times, and I actually went to the first ever meeting. So it was like the first 2 meetings, and it was really cool. It was like we all picked a recipe from the same cookbook, and then we would meet once a month, and we each made the recipe that we chose, and we brought it to our meeting location. So the first one was like at a park, at just a picnic table, and then the second one was at actually the group leader coordinator's apartment. And it went really well, and everyone was really nice, and it was just a really fun get together, and we got to play some games after and just kind of chat and get to know each other. We got to try new foods and talk about how we made the recipes and the things we liked. And yeah, it was really fun. And even though I didn't necessarily see myself getting really close with anybody there, it still was really beneficial for me to go. And I did really enjoy it. The third month was actually October, and I was really looking forward to it because we had talked about the last meeting dressing up for Halloween at our next meeting, which it probably wasn't going to be on Halloween, but still it would be really fun. And I was really looking forward to it. And the group leader never reached out about, picking a cookbook and picking a recipe. And so I sent a message in the chat and, just inquiring about that. And the leader actually responded and said that her anxiety was really bad, and she didn't want to do the group anymore. But, she would be fine if other people wanted to continue with the group. And that was really, saddening and disheartening to hear. But, as someone who lives with an anxiety disorder myself, I totally understand. And, I wished her well. And I also sent a message in the group and I said, I would like to continue. So if anybody else would like to as well, please let me know. We can proceed from here. And then a week went by and nobody responded. And it was getting close to the point when we would need to at least talk about what we were going to do. Like, it was getting towards the end of the month. And we usually met like towards the end of the month. And so I sent another message and I was like, hey, everyone, like, I think we should start planning. If you're interested in continuing the group, please, let me know. Nothing. So basically, I got ghosted by that group. And then there was this one person that I met through like an extracurricular volunteering activity that I was doing, and she and I just really connected. We were around the same age. We really got along. She said she wanted to hang out, so we actually did hang out. We went out and we looked at Halloween and Christmas decor. So this was, I want to say, around like the beginning of October maybe. And it was a nice meeting. And then at the end, she said, we should totally hang out at a restaurant. Like, we should get lunch sometime, like maybe next month, just let me know. And so I actually did reach out, not about the restaurant, but I actually, I found another activity that I really wanted to do that I thought like would be fun to do with someone. And I wanted to invite her. So I did invite her, and she said that it sounded really cool. And then I asked her if she wanted to go, and she never responded. And so a week later, it was getting close to the time when I'm like, okay, we kind of have to do this. The activity was a seasonal activity. And so there was like, an end date on it, like a last day when you could do it this year, and then you won't be able to do it until next year. So I texted her again, and I said, hey, would you like to go this weekend, at this time? It's going to be the last day of the season. And she never responded. So I got ghosted again by another person. And so at this point, I'm just feeling very discouraged because like all my work really led to those two things. I actually did find another friend, and it didn't work out with her. And so I feel like at the end of it, I have nothing to show for it, which isn't true, right? Like, I've learned a lot of things, and I did get to have those social experiences. So I do really appreciate that and value that. But, it is disappointing that now I basically have to start over, like start again from nothing. And then I think probably the last big update, although maybe I'm going to kick myself later and think of something else that I should have added, is work. And I try to talk about my work, but also be kind of vague about it because obviously I don't want to get in trouble with saying something that I'm not supposed to say or that the company I work for doesn't want me to say. But basically, it's been kind of the same as it's always been, but almost like busier. Like, I just don't remember feeling this stressed last year. It just feels like it's never ending, specifically with the allergy stuff that I deal with. If you don't know, I work for a food service company, and we are contracted with, multiple school districts. And so like I work for one of the school districts, and my main priority is food allergies because we have a lot of students with food allergies and medical conditions that require modified menus. And it's just a lot to deal with. I've had to give a lot of trainings, and there have been so many HR issues, and I am in a shared office with the director. So basically, like, I hear everything. I'm kind of in the middle of everything. I'm sometimes in the room when there are corrective communications, especially if it's like related to allergies or something where like I'm kind of, I don't want to say in charge of it, but like I'm a big part of educating and training on those things. And so all I can say is like right now we're on a bit of a break. I mean, I don't have like a total break. Like, I am working 2 days next week, but like the school that district that I'm at, like they're closed next week. And so I'm working from home 2 days, and then we have 2 paid holidays, Thanksgiving, and then the day after Thanksgiving. So I'm so looking forward to this next week of just like not being at the location. Because as much as I do like going to work in person, working at home actually kind of drives me crazy. I just feel like I need a break from that environment. I've been so productive. Like, I've been doing so much, and I feel good about that. But yeah, it's just been very stressful, and the work never ends. And of course, when it comes to food allergies and medical conditions, students' lives are at stake. So that also is something that, weighs on me and that I do think about and take very seriously. But I guess that is kind of the nature of the job and of being a dietitian. I mean, when you work in healthcare, you really are, you kind of have people's lives in the palm of your hand a little bit. So I think that really is all of the big updates. I have been posting pretty regularly on my Instagram. So if you're interested in seeing other content from me, getting updates when I don't post on YouTube, then definitely feel free to head over there. I actually do prefer to post on YouTube, but it's just less time and energy that I have to put in to, take pictures and write a caption for Instagram, that kind of thing, versus like an entire video, especially with the editing, because I'm not really a fan of editing, but I do like filming and coming up with the ideas and that kind of thing. So feel free to follow me over on Instagram. I will have my username in the description. If you have any video ideas that you want me to do, feel free to put them in the comments. I hope you all are doing well. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for watching today's video, and I hope to see you in the next one.